Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian and I am the horror show host. And today with me here sitting in his room, I was going to say across from me, but it's not really across from me, is Cameron Roubique. Is that right, Roubique?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, pretty
Okay,
close. Close enough.
okay. He is the author of such books as Disco Death Trap. Oh, and I just dropped it. Golf Curse and Kill River 1 to 3. And I actually just finished reading Kill River 3. Yeah, I read all his books, and they're a lot of fun, especially because I read them in June. So it was just a fun summer read, and I even have one of these.
Oh, nice. Where'd you get one of those?
I bought it off of Amazon, and they sent it to me with the Kill River book.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I used to ship those out when I was shipping the books, and then now it's all through Amazon, so I don't really have a chance to
Yeah,
send those to people anymore.
I did have two. One of them ripped, and the top of the knife is ripped because I used them as bookmarks.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
That's what I meant them to be.
I wanted to have one like in a nice little, not like a shrine, but just like a little. Oh, thunder.
Oh.
So let's get in. Well, actually, so say hey, Cameron, to the audience, and
Hey,
what you like to
everybody.
write about.
I'm Cameron. I'm an '80s slasher author. I'm a horror author, but I pretty much just stick to '80s slashers, just classic, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween style. Just I love the '80s. I love the '80s slashers. I like to have them all set in the '80s and everything. And I don't know, it's just kind of a fun world to slip into, and kind of escape the horrors of 2020.
Exactly. Yeah. The I've been reading these books, and I keep on forgetting the world outside while reading them because they're very engaging.
Oh, thanks, man.
No problem. All right, so let's get into the questions. Then after the questions, we can discuss the books a little bit further and stuff about like what you like for horror movies and what your favorite stuff is. And I don't know, we'll figure it out. We'll try to keep it casual after the questions.
Yeah.
So, so the first question I have here is, what inspired you to write?
Oh man. I don't know. I've kind of always wanted to write ever since I was little. I've always been a big reader. I read, Goosebumps and stuff. My dad read a lot of horror books and things like that. He kept them in this little hidden, like in our water heater room. He had this like homemade bookshelf, and he had all these horror books on there, and there were a bunch of Stephen King books on there that I'd sneak in there and look at them and stuff when I was really tiny. And I started reading Stephen King when I was like 9, and I just was obsessed with them. And I don't know, I always wanted to just do that. I would see horror movies that I liked or read scary books that I liked, and I'd just say, man, I want to do that someday. So yeah, I'm a horror guy inspired by horror, writing horror.
It's a lot easier than directing a horror movie, right?
Yeah.
That was my main reason for starting to write. Was like I can't direct these movies. It's just too much. So I have these stories to tell. So I'm sure you feel the same way. You want stories to be out there that you have. So
Yeah.
writing's
Yeah.
probably a lot easier.
I used to want to do movies and stuff too, and I made some short films and things like that. But I just hated how you'd always have to like compromise the story. You'd always have to like, oh well, we wanted to do this, but we had to change it to this because it was raining outside, so we had to move it inside that day or whatever.
Yeah,
Just things would happen. And I don't know. When I was writing the first Kill River, it was cool because I just kind of said, I can just do whatever I want now. This is awesome, and I could get it exactly how I want. And it was just more fun. There's more fun. There's more freedom, less stress, just
yeah.
writing stories.
A lot of people I've read a lot of reviews, and people have said that as your books go on, and I agree with this, your writing style vastly improves. Even though it's like really good from the start, it gets better and better with each book.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I feel like in my early books, well, in Kill River, especially, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of going off instinct and just like, oh yeah, that'll be good. And now there's so much more that I think about of like, is it moving too slow here? Should I speed it up? Or just a
Yeah.
lot. There's a lot more that I think about that I'm aware of now.
Those 1-star reviews, I was like, excuse me?
Oh yeah, I don't pay much attention. I mean, I don't look too much at the reviews or whatever. I don't want to
Yeah.
get all
Oh,
in my
they're not
head. I
bad. Most of them
appreciate
aren't
the
bad.
reviews,
Sorry, what?
but I appreciate all the reviews. I really do, good or bad. I appreciate them, but
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of like that's just for other people and their use, and I just write what I write, and
Yeah, I think
that's what I can do.
in my review for Kill River, which will be released July 6th. Yeah, July 6th. I think I point out that the only problem I had with it, which was very minor actually, was like if he had a sentence, it was like he had to get to the water, and then he got to the water because
Oh yeah.
but other than that, I really like. I read Kill River twice and Disco Death Trap twice.
Oh
Um,
nice.
yeah, and the second time I read Kill River, it was like I felt more of an impact, even though I already
Mm.
knew what was going to happen. It was really weird, you know.
Hmm.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, but um, Disco Death Trap is probably my favorite one of your books.
Oh, thanks. That's awesome. I actually hear that. I kind of hear that often from people, and it's surprising to me because I thought that would be the one that uh, maybe people wouldn't like as much. Like I thought, like my family members, I thought, oh, they're not really that into horror like I am, and I'm like, they're not gonna like this at all because it's super violent. And
Yeah,
they were like, oh, that was really good. I thought it was really good. I'm like, really? You weren't
I think it
weirded
comes
out
down.
by that?
I think it really comes down to your characters because they're very well rounded, very fleshed out. There's most of the characters in Disco Death Trap have like more than just a couple of sentences that they're told about them. There's like these paragraphs and stuff about you talk about these characters as if they're old friends, you know.
Yeah.
It
Well,
really
a
it
lot of
really
the
works.
characters in that book are kind of based off my friends, and that book's really kind of based a lot off like my high school experiences, and like my senior year in high school and all that. So yeah, I
Yeah.
mean the three guys that are that the book's dedicated to, it's a lot of the characters are just really kind of just based off them.
How did you come about picking songs that fit so well? Do you think of the songs did you think of the songs or the scene first?
I listen to a ton of music, and it's kind of weird because music, there's nothing visual about it, but sometimes just a song hits me and I just it puts some kind of image in my head.
Hmm.
Especially like of songs that you wouldn't even really think about, but like it just like with Disco Death Trap, like Dancing Queen. I was at my sister's wedding and they were playing Dancing Queen, and I kind of got this image in my head of uh, Dan and Marianne on the roller disco floor and everything, and like him dropping her and her glaring back at him, and it just popped into my head at that moment, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And now it's weird because a lot of the songs they kind of help the story. Like they put some of the scenes in my head a lot, and they kind of uh, really kind of help tell the story. I don't know. It's a weird. I can't really explain it. It's a weird thing how they just put just certain songs just kind of hit me just perfect, and I just go, oh man, I'm putting that in this book.
Yeah, I think the song that really got me like in Disco Death Trap again uh, was when the couple that everyone thinks they're going to get married after high school and everything. They're like the perfect couple. When they go off to dance and then "Gimme Gimme Gimme" by Appa comes on,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, that just is so epic the way it was written and everything.
That's another one of those where it's kind of like in the bridge, it kind of gets real quiet and it kind of sounds a little ghostly, and
Yeah.
that was the part where I pictured like that Dan and Marianne are staring at each other like across the way there, and
Yeah.
that was another one of those songs that just that popped into my head when I heard that, and I saw that part. I kind of imagined that part where she runs out and then he runs out and he's like, "You got something to say to me?" and they kind of have that confrontation. But yeah, that was totally one of those songs that just kind of popped that image in my head.
You have so many characters in Disco Death Trap, and so do you write them all out, or do you have them like memorized in your head?
Um, no, I pretty much have them all memorized. Well, especially with Disco Death Trap, because that was, like I said, it was based off high school, and so a lot
Yeah,
of those people
that works.
were based off just people I knew. But also because I kind of know, like, I kind of map out the kill scenes a little bit, and it's like, okay, well, this person's gonna be in this kill scene, and this person's gonna be in this kill scene. So yeah, I don't really have to do a ton of. I know there were a lot of characters in that book, but usually I don't have that many, and I don't really have to outline that out too much.
Yeah, I think the only other one that had the most amount of characters was like Golf Curse, but
Yeah.
yeah, but that was like you base your books off of experiences you've had, right? Like your jobs or your
Mhm.
friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Ghost Curse is kind of that's definitely like I'm actually because I'm furloughed from my regular job right now, so I'm actually back working there right now. I was there this today, and so yeah, a lot of the people, the characters in that one are kind of based. They're not exactly like this is this person and this is this person, but it's more like each character is like has cherry picked traits from a bunch of different people. So it's like this character is kind of like this person and this person, and I
yeah.
always like visually like the way they're like physically described. I always imagine like other characters from other like horror movies.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So so
That's
yeah,
pretty.
like
Sorry,
yeah.
what?
I was gonna say like for Golf Curse, for example, since we're talking about that one, like the main guy in that, I picture as the guy from Christine. You ever seen Christine, John Carpenter?
I've seen most of it. I
Yeah,
have it. This is the most famous phrase I have is I have it, but I haven't seen it.
yeah. I love Christine, and the main guy in that, the guy who buys Christine, that's who I picture as the main guy Ronnie in Golf Curse.
Mhm. I know who you're talking about. That does seem to fit his description. That actually kind of weaves into my next question.
Hmm.
Um, where is it? So you pretty much already answered it, but I wanted to say that I wanted to take a guess on a couple of them.
Yeah, no, go for it.
So Marianne reminded me of Chris Hargensen from Carrie. Is that true or false?
Um, In a sense, actually, I imagined Felissa Rose as
Ooh.
her, but not like not Sleepaway Camp Angela Felissa Rose, more like kind of like how she is now, but
Mhm.
based off like kind of like an 18-year-old because Marianne's like 18, so kind of like an 18-year-old version of like the way Felissa Rose is now. But that's who I
Okay.
imagined. But that's funny that you mentioned that because Disco Death Trap is very Carrie influenced. I love Carrie, and there's definitely a lot of that in that book.
And then I don't know if you know who this actor is, but when you mentioned the Carvers and the Kill River series, or the Kurt Carver especially, um, the one actor I kept on thinking he reminded me of was Richard Brake.
Richard Brake. I don't think I know that. I
He
don't know who that
was.
is.
Have you seen the Doom movie from 2005 with Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'll have to think of something that he was in. That maybe. Do you ever watch any Rob Zombie movies?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm not really a huge Rob Zombie fan. It's a little too torture porny for my
Yeah.
taste. But
Um.
I'll have to look him up though.
Yeah, he's got like the weird, huge smile and the slick back hair. So
Oh.
I
I
thought,
actually Kurt Carver is he's I'm a big old school Nickelodeon fan.
Mhm.
I grew up in the early '90s, and I was watching Nickelodeon when I was a kid. And do you remember a show, Adventures of Pete and Pete?
No, I grew up around the Rugrats era, pretty
Oh, okay.
much.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty much the same.
Mhm.
But yeah, they had this show called The Adventures of Pete and Pete, and they had this psychotic bus driver Stu,
Mhm.
and he was played by a guy. I think his name is Damian Young, and he was just fly off the handle, and he was just this crazy, like their school bus driver, and that's kind of who I pictured as Kurt Carver.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's funny because these characters you can picture them one way, and then the someone else will think totally opposite. Like, oh no, this is what this person actually reminds me of, or looks like him.
Yeah.
But it's crazy, isn't it?
hmm Yeah, I like that's what I love about books and stories is that they kind of the image is kind of fluid, like it's different for every person just based on their own, you know, perspectives. And when you see like a book that gets turned into a movie and you see the movie, then it kind of locks that image in, like you think, oh well, this character is this actor or whatever. But I mean, that's when a book is just by itself, it's kind of cool because everyone can kind of picture however they want, really.
Yeah. I'm actually at the same time as listening. I'm looking up a picture of Richard Brake. See if I can flip the screen around.
Oh, okay. I
That
got the
save time.
computer here. I wonder if I can look that up too.
That's all right. Let me see. I can do it. Share a screen. That works. All right. Friendly hands up. Yeah, I get it. Uh, oh, where'd it go? All right. Are you able to see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Him.
Oh, yeah, that would work. That would work. Although I do picture him like I picture Kurt Carver as having like black hair though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. I can't believe I forgot about that. Because like behind the, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil. I think you know where I was going with that one, but
Yeah, yeah.
um. So if you could change one thing about any of your books, what would it be? Writing style, scene change, or anything?
Ooh. You know, actually, I would probably. It's funny because the first Kill River, I would probably like. I am proud of that book and everything.
Yeah.
But it was my first book, and I learned a lot doing it. But I would probably go back and I would do two things with that book. I would speed up the beginning and just kind of pick up the pace to them getting to the water park and everything.
Yeah.
And then I would probably give a little bit more answers and insight into like the killer in that one.
What?
At the time, I was kind of going for like a Michael Myers Halloween thing where like how
No
is
answers. Just it just
you watch
happens.
yeah, it's just kind of, and I thought it was more like the story wasn't really about the killer, it was really more about Cindy,
Hmm.
and it's really more about kind of her experience and her just kind of coming out of it a stronger person. And so I kind of left it vague, and I thought, well, I'll do sequels and I'll do it later. I'll just get to it later. And then I saw Force Awakens, Star Wars Force Awakens, and I was like, I don't really like how that. It's just kind of like, well, it's just the first one. Guess you have to find out more in the sequels. And I'm like, I did the same thing. That's not good.
That's It's funny you say that because the two things you want to change actually are my favorite parts of the book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I like how you um the whole book is like half the book is like just them growing as characters or as friends and them doing miscellaneous pranks and stuff. And then when they start, I'm not gonna say who, but some of them do start getting killed off, and you feel really bad.
Yeah.
Even for the characters you're not supposed to like, you feel pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, that was
Uh,
kind of the point. I mean, I wanted it to be like that you cared about all of them, even the more asshole douchey characters. And it's
mm,
funny because I'm starting to see like Kill River 3 reviews, and people are saying they don't like TJ and stuff. And I'm like,
I'm like, you
yeah,
gotta have something. You can't just have all perfectly happy happy-go-lucky kids.
That
That's
is
just the
true.
same thing. Yeah.
That is true. Very true.
That's why when
Because
that's why let's say Jaws works because you have likable characters like Quint, but he's kind of an a-hole.
yeah, yeah. No, that's a very good way to put it. Is like a Quint type character. Well, I
Yeah,
think I'm
or even Hooper because he's kind of like obnoxious.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is I think I'm kind of obnoxious, and so I think that translates into my characters is because I'm loud and just kind of, especially like when I was in high school, I was just
Well,
absolutely insane and just off the wall and
yeah, me too.
um
Especially preschool and middle school. I was like crazy.
yeah, yeah. And I think that just translates into my characters, and I think sometimes people are like just get annoyed by it, but
Yeah, you
I
can't
don't
work
know.
with everybody.
Yeah,
That's one thing you got to know is that you're not gonna please everybody. But
right.
I think you pleased most, so that's the important thing.
Well, right on. Thanks, man.
No problem. Uh oh. In your opinion, what was the goriest kill in any of your books without giving away any spoilers?
Whew.
Unless you want to, it's totally up to you.
No, 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 that's okay. Goriest kill, goriest kill.
Because I know some people they're either like I want to read for the gore or I want to read for the lack of gore. So kind of like trying to ask a question like that. It's like trying to tell viewers or readers what the books are like and how graphic they can go.
Well, I mean, they are gory, like to an extent, but to
Right.
me, I always try to focus more on like the suspense and the spooky build up to the kill, um, rather than just like make it just like a goofy gore fest. I mean,
Exactly.
the gore is there, and the deaths are violent and gory, but I don't do it out of a like a goofy like tongue in cheek way. I do it because I think murder is a kind of an ugly, gross thing, and I
Mhm.
like that's kind of the way I don't see it as like a funny thing, and so I think that's why I kind of write them really really brutal because it's just like
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah, when I read some of the kills, especially in the first Kill River, they were very painful to
Yeah,
like. There's
yeah,
one where somebody gets impaled, and you said something inside her felt like it popped.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
I shouldn't.
yeah. But goriest kill. I'd probably say in Golf Curse, there's a character that gets thrown down into the pump house, which is where all
Oh
the
yeah.
water goes.
Mhm.
And that's where the water for all the irrigation systems for the golf course gets fed into. And there's a character that gets sucked into the pumps, and then uh, the blood is like coming out through the sprinklers on the
Yeah,
golf course.
that's actually a good answer because I think that's the only one where after I read it on my tablet, I went, "Oh,
Oh, come on, dude.
yeah, no, that was just too far." No, just kidding. But no, that was probably the kill that made me do that. Either that or some of them in Disco Death Trap where it was just a massacre happening because it's just
Yeah.
like the scythe slicing through people and stuff.
Yeah.
That
I
was
would
pretty
say
brutal.
if I had a second choice for Goriest Kill, I would say there's a character in Kill River 2 that is tied up to they're tied up on a ride, and there's like this heavy plastic sled thing that comes down, and it bumps into their head, it like knocks into their head and just knocks their head back and cracks their
Yeah,
teeth, and that was a
it's
gross,
nasty.
it was a pretty gross kill.
um, yeah. Oh, so you draw your artwork too, which is really cool.
I do. I paint the paintings. I paint the artwork. I can pull them up if you want.
Sure.
I got them right here. Let's see. This is my Disco Death Trap painting. Whoa, there it is.
Nice.
Uh, this is the one for Golf Curse. This is the Kill River, the first one.
I love the eyes on that one.
Oh yeah, the eyes are the funnest part. This is the Kill River 2 painting. Oh, there it is.
That's probably my favorite one because it's just so it like goes out into the background, and you can really notice a lot of different things.
Yeah. And then the newest one is Kill River 3. This is
Which is
my
epic.
oh, thanks. You know, what I wanted to do, it's kind of a simple cover, and what I wanted to do is do you know, in the 80s they had those die cut covers where there was like a hole, and then you could open the book and there was another, you know, picture inside. And that's I was gonna surprise everybody and do one of those and find some like limited edition ones again. And I was gonna do it where like this was cut out, and then there's like a hole cut out right here, and then you could open it up and you'd see the inside of the pyramid.
Well, that'd be really cool.
That's what I was planning on doing, but that's right when the coronavirus hit, and I didn't have a good I didn't have a good reference photo to get I looked all over online and I couldn't really get a good enough picture to paint it, and I couldn't get the equipment to do the die cutting and everything, so I just went, I'll just
Maybe in the future someday.
maybe in the future. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Well, and I also paint other people's covers too. I painted the cover for Cameron Chaney's book Autumn Crow,
Yep.
which is an amazing Halloween short story book, and I painted the cover for that. And then I painted the cover for an upcoming short story collection called Local Haunts, edited by R. St. Clair, and that's going to be out, I think, in October now. I don't have those covers here. They're Cameron has the Autumn Crow painting, and Regina has she has the Local Haunts one already.
Thank you for joining me, Cameron Roubique. I'm glad we actually had a chance to do this. When I messaged you saying I do want to do an interview, I was like, he's going to be like, nah, I'm busy. But you're like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Brian. It's a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun talking horror and.
No problem. And if you ever want to do one of these again, or even join a live stream, I'm always having live streams. So.
Of course, yeah.
Alrighty. So thank you, and thank you everyone for watching. And Lion Brian Gatto, the Horror Show host. Make sure to like, comment on, as well as share this video. Like my Facebook fan page and support me on Patreon, where you can get access to body counts and kill counts that are not on YouTube, but because of copyright and age restriction. Also hit that notification bell, and as always, subscribe.